Right, I am gonna show you something. Go. Last week you came and...
What?
Last week...
What?
Last week,
You suck.
Randy,
You're
you
a piece
came...
of trash. Go to hell, you bored idiot.
Shut up! 2 words, Sammy Callahan. And in case you don't know, the reason that Sammy Callahan wants to face me in a WhatCulture death match is because he believes that you shouldn't be allowed to come on YouTube and rant and rave about professional wrestling and then also step in a professional wrestling ring. But that's not the way I see it. I view things very differently to one Mr. Callahan, because the way I live my life, the way I approach everything is to throw yourself into passions, throw yourself into things that make you feel alive, and that's exactly what I've been doing since day one. So as geeky and as nerdy as it may sound, I love doing this YouTube stuff. I love upping the downs. I love shouting why and slapping my head, but I also love getting into the squared circle and trying to kick somebody's ass. And as far as I'm concerned, Sammy Callahan, you are the next person on that list. And yeah, I may die trying as you slam me through a table and set me on fire, but at least as I die, I can think to myself, well, you didn't quit. And my family may be upset, but I was gonna die one day anyway. Okay, which one did you prefer? No, there is no wrong or right answer, and you should always follow your heart. But ever since WWE was forced to go behind closed doors, I have loved nearly 100% of the promos they have put out there. Some of them are still a bit weird because, you know, some wrestlers still have the cadence and the intonation and the pacing as if fans are gonna react, and then they don't react. But look, I understand it's a hard time and you do you. But when you get a guy looking down the camera and just being super intense and you can believe every single word, it is fire. And that is why when all this madness has calmed down and we go back to normal, we have got to find a way to slip this promo style into the product, because WWE just stumbled onto accidental gold. Why? Here's why. So let's run the gambit for a second. If we go back to the very first of these type of shows, I thought Roman Reigns sounded more human and more like a guy I could get behind than he ever has before. On the following Raw, Edge did exactly the same and left me going, poof, he's actually going to go in there, and killed Randy Orton. Then Randy Orton a week later took that bar even higher, and on that same show, Seth Rollins reminded us all, hey, you put a microphone in my hand and you put me in the right environment and I will cut you a killer damn promo. Now all of these guys have reached such a bar before, but there was something just so compelling about what they were saying, and also maybe more importantly, it just felt fresh. And for ages, fans have been saying, WWE, give us something new, give us something different. But really, when you searched your feelings like you're in Star Wars, you didn't really know what that answer was. You didn't have to worry, you're just a fan, they're WWE, it was up to them. But then from nowhere, we've come across this nugget of joy. We've got to hold on to it. I mean, nobody was going to say, well, I think what we should do to freshen things up is not have fans get in the arena. People would have looked at you like you were a Mojo Rawley fan, but we have ended up here. So, hey, let's find a silver lining. Let's get on the magical cloud and just take away everything we can. We'll use Randy Orton's as our main example because I think it was the best of the bunch, and I have no idea if it was filmed live or it was rehearsed over and over again, but it was just the little things that WWE sprinkled in. So for example, when he talked about winning the Intercontinental Championship, or he talked about becoming the youngest WWE champ ever, some footage just faded in across his face and you could actually see that happening. It was the same when he mentioned the group known as Evolution. It's a mystery. Now, if you're an old school fan like me, a massive nerd, when you see this, you get all fuzzy inside because it's nostalgia. And if you're a new fan, you have a visual aid and you can actually see the Viper holding a title aloft and probably go, this guy's the real deal. It was gold. It was just brilliant. And sure, it was a little bit like watching amateur dramatics, but who the hell cares? I left with a massive smile on my face like the Joker, and if any kind of entertainment product makes me smile, it's a round of applause. Obviously this wasn't planned, but now that we have stumbled into it, we got to allow every single wrestler to give it a go. And I know some will sink and some will swim, but that's not the point, because everybody that does manage to swim and able to keep their head above water is probably going to add a whole new depth to their character. But there's just a newness to these that makes me feel like I'm not watching World Wrestling Entertainment. And I know that sounds dumb, but take something like the hard camera. When WWE had that first SmackDown, they had the camera in the same place and they did all the little things that they usually do, because sometimes, yeah, the company doesn't adapt as you may want them to. Then AEW switched the hard camera to like where you could see the ring and you could see the entranceway, so you couldn't see the empty chairs, and that made loads of sense and it may have taken WWE a couple of weeks, but they did it too. And once again, it just suited the situation. I totally get why they do this. I mean, they're WWE, they're the biggest wrestling company on the planet. You can't say they're not successful. And those people online that like to pretend they're not, you're absolutely crazy. Ultimately, WWE did change tact, and it just helped. I think we could do the same with these kind of promos, and also then you allow your performers to actually sound like they want to kill each other and not use words like eviscerated, obliterated, and slayed. If I'm in a street fight, I'm not going to say to someone, I'm about to slay you, unless of course I think Santa Claus is about to arrive. And every time I have said it, Santa Claus don't arrive. If you need any more evidence, let's just do this. I know I'm not going to be able to do it the way he did it, but let's take Randy Orton's promo from a recent episode of Raw and put some amazing music behind it. Edge, I'm talking to you. I'm here to respond to your challenge, but first, there's something I need to get off my chest. I need to apologize. You see, 3 weeks ago, I lied to your wife. I lied to Beth right in that ring. I said you were a junkie for the roar of the crowd. And you're not a junkie for the roar of the crowd, Edge. You're a junkie for your own ego. Adam Copeland is a junkie for Edge. Little bit. Edge, you may be writing this story, but at WrestleMania, I'm gonna write the last chapter and end it. Pause. I accept. Now let's do the same with that nuts Ricochet promo, which was clearly written down for him at the end of December 2019. You guys know that the only thing I've ever tried to do is prove that superheroes are real, but the OC, all of that has to be shoved to the side because tonight is about us showing up and shutting up. It still makes no sense. So there you go, I've proven my point. Let's have more people talking real speech as opposed to giving them, like I said, a piece of paper, a script, and they have to go learn it. And then when they're saying these words, you can just see them in their own head going, what have I got to know next? What have I got to say next? Oh yeah, I've got to say that I'm a superhero and I'm going to fly to the ring and save who's ever in there. At that point, I haven't seen Ricochet say one person like that. So again, push them away. We're done with them. We tried and they were okay for a little bit. Let's have more of these just, like I say, intense, in-depth, character-driven, wonderful pieces of fiction that I am getting a massive kick out of. So don't you let me down, WWE. Let me believe again. And one last serious note, there are so many guys in WWE right now that I'd love to be given this opportunity. I know I made a joke about him earlier, but I think if you put Mojo Rawley in this situation, he would take a baseball bat and he would absolutely smash it out of the park. Also, dudes like Gallows and Anderson, just go watch New Japan for a little bit. See what they did over there. They have the chops as well, but you've got to give them the sandbox, not a sandbox, a soapbox. You've got to give them the soapbox to stand on. Don't give them a sandbox because then they'll muck around in sand like kids. That's not what I want to see on Raw. Sometimes you do get segments like that. But my point is, you have the talent, and now you have the opportunity to go, well, look, it worked for us over here, so now we're just going to try it out in the wild. And do you know what the worst thing that can happen here is? It fails, and you look at your television or your video screen and go, that bald guy got it wrong again. But I'll still appreciate you because you attempted to do something new, and I am just desperate for new things. Like t-shirts. If nothing else, you may stumble onto something new with a character that you never saw coming, because nearly every single interview I've ever seen with a wrestler, at one point, they usually say something like this. Well, I just said that in an interview, and then I went out to the ring the next week, and I saw all these signs and thought, I must be onto something. Austin 316, The Game, Triple H. The Rock had one, but he had about 42,000 different catchphrases, so it's so hard to keep up. Chris Jericho has said that. This is the way to make something's old, just bring it back into the modern day, bring it into 2020, and let me believe that these wrestlers and these people in pants that I'm watching every single week are also real people. I will stop ranting now, but I will still say I will massively, massively appreciate it if this is what happens in the very, very near future. Like now, and just carry it on. Now, don't forget to leave a comment below and let us know what you think about all of this. Like the video, share the video, subscribe to WhatCulture Wrestling, and head over to WhatCulture.com, read yourself some articles using your eyes. Follow WhatCulture on Twitter, WhatCulture WWE. You can stay up to date with all the news that way, and you can watch more videos here on WhatCulture Wrestling. I'm there, some other people are there. We'll talk to you about wrestling. We'll talk to you about whatever you want us to talk about. To a certain degree, it's unlikely we're going to do, like, say your name is Dave Windows, a window there. Dave Window, if you put in the comments, hey, where's my video? I mean, we could one day, but it's not a guarantee. My name is Simon from WhatCulture. Thank you for watching the Why series. And although I've just spent 10 minutes explaining it, I really want to underline how much I've been enjoying these promos. And well done to Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins and Edge and Randy Orton. I mean, that Randy Orton promo got a golden up. I don't just throw out golden ups for random promos, but it gave me the tingles, it gave me the shivers. When all was said and done, I thought to myself, I cannot wait to see Edge versus Randy Orton in a last man standing match, even though it's going to be in front of 0 fans. That is called excitement, that is called getting ready. That's all I need. I was going to put this in my mouth then, but it won't fit. Look, no way I can do it. I will see you very soon. What are we doing? Secret last bit for those who have hung around till the very end. Let's not pretend that WWE or WWF, as it was then, hasn't done this before. Go and watch every single Bret Hart promo from 1997. 1, it doesn't even sound like he knows the crowd is there. And 2, you will buy in to every word that he says. Go find the one where he pushes Vince McMahon onto his backside, grabs the microphone, and even drops an S-bomb. For those people that said Bret Hart couldn't cut a promo, you don't know what you're talking about.